All right. So if you've been wondering how to get out of the house you're in now and move to a new house or build a new house, today we're going to cover three options on how you can do that. And we're going to go over the pros and cons of each of them. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Property Show. I'm Brian Freeman. Today I got a special guest, Dave Edwards. He's known as Treasure Valley Dave. He is a big player on YouTube. Got over 500 and something videos that he's put out in the real estate space. And today he is going to be talking to us about what the options are as far as buying and selling your home. You know, can you buy then sell then buy? He's going to cover the options and the pros and the cons of that. Dave's a top real estate agent in the Boise metro area, which is the Boise, Idaho area, and he's going to share with you today. So, Dave, welcome to the show.
We're happy to have you. I appreciate you being on your show. I've seen so many episodes that you've put out there, and I always learn something from every one of them. So I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, you're so right. There's different processes when it comes time to going from one house and ending up in the other house. And we're going to be talking about those today. But, who am I? Well, Treasure Valley Dave. I'm a real estate agent, been one for many years now. But originally I came from Nebraska, but then I stopped off for 20 years in California. And I left California 10 years ago. I retired from the police department there. And the same day I retired was the same day I moved up to Treasure Valley. So what we're going to be talking about today are the different ways to go from one house to the next. We're going to sell and then buy. And what that means is that you're going to sell your current house and then probably rent someplace for a period of time until you either find or build your next house. And this applies whether you're relocating or not. It's just the way the process is. And then the next step is going to be sell and buy. So this is when you are selling your house and buying a house all within the same, at the same time. Oftentimes they have simultaneous closings. You're going to close on both houses on the same afternoon, which is nice. I mean, and I say it's nice because we have all these pros and cons, and you're going to find out if it's a pro for you or maybe it is a con. Lastly, we have this option of buy then sell. This isn't for everybody, but if it's for you, it could take so much of the stress out of the process. The only really stress thing that will be part of it is that you might end up having two mortgages for a period of time. So if that's something that you're comfortable with, or if your current house is paid off and you can just have that one mortgage, it takes so much of the stress out. You can just move at your own leisure, find the perfect house, find the perfect buyer. So those are kind of the three, they are the three processes that we have when it goes from going from one place to the next.
So three options, and then today you're going to go through the pros and the cons of each of those so we can get an understanding of what might be the best thing for you if you're watching this. So a lot of you may are thinking about this if you're tied in with our, watching our YouTube channel and that about building a house. This is going to give you some options as far as what you can do. So, and to evaluate your circumstance and then move from that, making a decision on, what's the actual tactics I got to do to actually get there. And it's kind of hard to do today in today's market. It's a little harder to do in today's market, depending on the situation, as far as moving up, the interest rates being high and values still being high in the property. So Dave's going to cover those items today.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. So Brian, I have made up these downloads that people can get, and they do cover the three different options that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm not going to sit here and read line by line, but if you guys are watching this or listening to it, you can go to the link and that'll take you someplace to where you can download your own copy of this.
So if you guys go to Dave's website is treasurevalleydave.com. And you go to his website. I'm going to show that to you here right now. We go to treasurevalleydave.com and you can click on the resources here and it'll be under this resources tab. So go here, you can look at that and you can find it there. You can also go to treasurevalleydave.com/buy and sell. Spell all that out. BUY and spelled out AND and SELL. So you can find it there at treasurevalleydave.com/buy and sell.
Absolutely. Well, so back to, should we dig down into some of these, our three different options that we have here, Brian?
Let's do it. Yep.
There's a process, and these three steps that we talk about are just a small part of the process, but really the first step of the process is deciding if you really do need to move. And maybe you don't, and that's absolutely fine too. It certainly doesn't hurt to think about it. Maybe you do want to move to maybe a safer neighborhood and yet still stay in the San Diego area or somewhere in California. So figuring out, do you really need to move? And then if you do, where do you want to move to? Is it just a different neighborhood where you're at, or is it some entirely different state? But maybe having a house built in San Diego might be an answer for you. Could be that you want to have a house built up here in the Treasure Valley. And the things that we're going to be talking about, these processes, they work absolutely great for that scenario. So the first thing that we have is we're going to sell and then buy. So basically, what that means is that you're going to sell your home and then probably get into a rental or move back in with mom or whatever the case is, and then buy a house, several months down the road. And to be honest, that's exactly what we did when we moved up from California, because this is an option that's absolutely great for people who don't know the new area that well and they want to take some time to, kind of feel it out. But another process is you can sell and buy. And there's a lot of pros to this. There are some cons. Probably one of the big cons is that there's a lot going on at one time, and there's a lot of deadlines that have to have, we keep your eye on to make sure you don't miss something. A lot of, something in the air. What is it? Balls or whatever. So that's where, in any of these scenarios, having a good real estate agent to help you put your plan together and then to make sure that you stay on track with that. So when you sell and buy, it's all pretty much one process. It's you're selling your house, and then as soon as you get your house on the market, or particularly if you have a buyer under contract on the house you're selling, we get you right away into a house that you're buying. And what a couple of good things about that is you never end up homeless because you're going from this house to this house. You don't have to move twice like you would if you're going to move to a rental and then from the rental to your new house. Um, but there could be a lot of scary moments with that. So definitely having a great real estate agent.
So when you're with this market right now, where houses are sitting on the market a little bit longer, like days on market are a little longer, how are you managing like contingencies, like the moving process if you're selling and buying? How is that working? Like, do you have any suggestions to people that are in that process of like they got to sell their house in order to buy this house that they're closing on, and how any problems that could arise and how you mitigate those things?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So probably the biggest thing when time frames, contingencies. Contingency means that you have to sell your current house before you can close on your new house. And the seller of your new house is looking at that contingency going, there's a big risk there for me. So the further you are along in the selling of your old house process, the less of a risk it is to the person that you're buying the house from. And one of the big things to make your process over here on the selling side go better is to one, be flexible with negotiations. And what I mean there is particularly like when you're going through the inspection period and the buyer comes back and has their list of things that are important to them, particularly if it's a health and safety thing. And then also, and this is probably the biggest one, is making sure that you price your house right to sell. So then the next option, and this is, I've seen a lot of my retirees do this, and it's really like low stress. And that would be to buy a home and then sell the home you're living in. And it's like, wow, well, how can you do that? Well, probably the negative about this is that you could end up having two mortgages at the same time. So to have two mortgages at the same time, you do have to qualify for two mortgages, or maybe your current house is already paid off, so that will make it a little bit easier. But all the pluses are that you can, especially if you're looking for a house that's a little bit less run of the mill, something that's just that fits your needs specifically. Maybe you do need, so many acres needs to be along a river or something like that. So you can really take your time and find that perfect house, and then you buy it, and you don't have a contingency to sell. So when the seller of that property is looking at your offer, they go, wow, this is sweet as a nut. Let's just go with it. It works out great. And then you can get your house that you're currently living in You can get it fixed up. You can get on the market. Maybe, and I would not suggest this, but if you think it's worth a little bit more than what your agent suggests, do you have the time to just let it sit on the market because there's no time pressure to get that thing sold?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest that you go with the market value, and then don't mess around, because every month that it's sitting there empty, you're making payments, you're making tax payments. Let's just get it sold. So, and then you can move at your own pace, whether it's very quickly or very slowly.
So one of the things too, that in that, to reference back what you're talking about where you're actually selling after, there are some interesting construction products out there. Connecticut Bank just had a product that was really good. I think they're phasing it out, but it's a little bit different now. But they're allowing you to actually take a HELOC on your primary home to, let's say you're wanting to, this is a construction product where you're wanting to build a home. You're actually able to take this, and they do this in all 50 states. So it's not like it's just in California or Idaho. And you can take a HELOC out on your primary residence. So if you have a lot of equity, you bought it, before everything went up, take that thing, put it down on the new property to buy some vacant land. Say you want to buy land and build a house, or buy and just remodel a property completely. And they don't count that against your debt to income ratio. So anything on your primary home, even the first mortgage payment plus the HELOC, is not counted against your DTI. So I can essentially qualify for this other loan as if I didn't own my primary. And I could literally take, if you got enough big enough income, you can literally take your HELOC with no cash of your own, put it down on this property, buy the land, and then get the money for qualify for the construction loan. And they put that as a pending sale. And then once they show your existing home as a pending sale, primary, but they don't force you to sell the home at the end of the build. So you could actually rent that out if you wanted to. You could also show some rental. They'll allow you to show future rental income against that, so to offset the debt payment on the primary if it covers it. So there's some options there. They did have a 30-year product that then would float down, but that's since changing, and now they're doing like a 3-year fixed, and then it'll do like a 3-6 or just every 6 months on an arm. But they at least allow you to make that transition without having to you're buying essentially first and then you're selling after. So it's an interesting product, and it's helped quite a few of our clients actually get into homes when they're building moving from their existing house. They don't want to move. You don't have to move twice, so it's kind of cool. So Dave, do you mind if I show them what you're doing on YouTube? So we're talking about these videos that you're doing. Can we share that with them?
Oh, I think that'd be a great resource.
Okay, so this is Dave's YouTube channel. So it's Treasure Valley Dave, and these are like, this is the video he's just talking about. This 11 things not to fix when selling your home. So he's a video machine. He puts out so much content for everybody that he's helping here, in trying to figure out what the real estate situation is, what they need to buy, what they need to sell. He's just covering a ton of it. Doesn't matter where you live, you can get tons of value from his channel. He just finished this webinar we were talking about. I think there's 6 steps, Dave, that you have for this. And they all total up. There's like almost 3 hours of video on how to buy houses. And this is one of them here. You'll see the series that he has on his channel, but he's going through and giving tours of all the different areas up here. And just, you can see it's pretty much endless. He's actually walking around and taking you through properties, and he's just putting out a ton of information for anybody that's interested in real estate. And it can help you. So look at what he's doing. And if it's something that you're interested in, and learning more about where he's at in Nampa or the Treasure Valley is like covering the whole Boise metro area. You can get that information here, and over on his website is huge. So get in here, check out this thing. This thing is awesome. This webinar that he has, and he's building out one. There's a one for sellers that he's working on right now that'll be here for him that you can see as well, and can help you anywhere. So Dave, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was about building, and how like people that are specifically like someone that's maybe relocating out of the area, from what you've seen, like they're selling maybe down in California or another state that's local that has a lot higher price point on their properties. What are you seeing them that, like, what's happening for them? How are they doing this? Are they doing the sell and buy? Are they doing the or sell and build? Maybe like up here, how are they getting here? Like, what are they doing? Like, what are they getting for their money up here versus like, are you seeing them getting a lot more for their money? Just kind of give us a little light on what's happening or some of those scenarios. Someone's thinking about wanting a custom home maybe built.
So the market up here for your it's different. It depends on what price point you're looking at. If you're at the normal price point of like around 400,000, it's a really tight market. But if you get up a little bit higher, then there's a lot of room. So our people, they got their house. It was over $1 million, but they actually got it for 175,000 less than asking price. And a lot of that had to do with just our communication with the sellers or the seller's agent to make sure that they knew that what we're looking for, what what our buyers could do and what they couldn't do. And we actually walked away from the deal, and then we ended up coming back together after the seller came back to reality or planet Earth or something. But yeah, so that's one of the processes right here is where they sell and then rent a place and then buy. And it's the same thing for someone that maybe can't afford and they're renting in California. They can't afford to buy yet up here, so they just come up here and rent. And then it's the same process whether you're going over $1 million or if you're in the 300,000 range.
Very cool. So you're seeing that people are getting a lot more for their money, even though everything's gone up in price in the last 3 years. It's here in or where you're selling houses, you're seeing the prices, or I guess they're getting more for their money than they were in San Diego or say California somewhere.
Right. Well, and that's prices everywhere across the country. On whole, they've all gone up. So the interesting thing is that so Treasure Valley is made up basically of 2 counties: Ada County, which is your Boise and Meridian, and then Canyon County, which is your Nampa, Caldwell, Middleton. So over in Ada County, their average home sale is like 125,000 higher than the national average. But over in Canyon County, month after month, we are just about within $1,000 or two of our average homes being right there with the national average. So it's not a screaming deal like it was, 8-10 years ago, but it's still, if you're making it where you are, you'll probably be fine making it over here in Canyon County.
I know Dave's he has people actually in Ramona and El Cajon and other areas that we build in that he's actually helped move to Idaho, and they've all been successful, and I think they're still in Idaho. So, but that's what he specializes in, is actually making that happen. So he's down in, used to working with people where we're at, and he's good at what he does. So I would, if you guys have questions about these things, I would recommend going to his website and checking everything out. You'd be amazed at how much information this can help you wherever you're located. So, Dave, what else do you have? Do you have anything else you wanted to share? Do you want to share with people how what's the best way to get in touch with you? How do you prefer to connect with people? What can they do to get more information to work with you, or just ask you some questions about the content that we covered today? What would you like to tell them?
Well, I think you're right. The first step is to go to the website, and you're going to get a lot of your questions answered there. There's also a contact us on the website, and you can fill that out, or just give us a call or a text. It's 208-860-2004. And you might end up talking with Treasure Valley Marine. She came up from California and Southern California as well. So she knows all about the relocation process, and she's got some great stories.
Yeah, Dave, it was a pleasure having you. So thanks for joining us, sharing all the information you did.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, if you are interested in building a custom home or maybe building an ADU, reach out to us, and we thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.